Welcome back to Cars and Guitars. Today, we're taking a look at my oldest electric guitar. Non-original case that I can't get the latches open to. From 1977. Fender hardtail Strat in, believe it or not, Olympic white. Ugh, this thing still stinks. Welcome to Cars and Guitars, because if you're going to have an expensive hobby, you may as well have two. I've been playing this thing in 5-string mode in a little bit of a weird tuning for a bit. If I can figure out how to post a link, you can click on the video here and watch that. Definitely check that out anyway. So, I have owned this guitar for 6 or 7 years, and there's a bit of a story. I got this off eBay, and it was part of a collection of guitars that were owned and played by the guitarist from a pretty well-known Aussie rock band. It wasn't sold as, like, buy this guy's guitar. It was just a collection of guitars, and that's not why I brought it, but there's a few things on this guitar that do point to it being a studio or touring guitar. First, holy crap, this thing stinks. It's gotten better over the years, but the nicotine smells just like it's in there. I'm just old enough to remember a time when you could still smoke in pubs and clubs and how bad you'd stink the day after. Besides the smell, I mean, look at it. Look how ambered the lacquer is on the maple, how yellow the white body is turned. Not all of this is nicotine. A lot of this is sweat as well. Anyway, I busted the nut, so it's a good excuse to pull this apart and go through what makes a 70s Strat a 70s Strat. 70s Fenders had a reputation for being pretty inconsistent with their QC, but this one is nice, so we'll start at the top and work our way down. First thing, big old headstock, S7 serial number for 77, and the bullet truss rod nut. The headstocks changed around 1965, and by the early 70s, they had the extra string tray and the bullet truss rod nut. I love these big headstocks. The instrument just feels more balanced. We've also got F-stamp tuners. These were used from the mid-60s onwards. They've got the staggered mounting screws and the big old F-stamp on the back. 1971 is when Fender switched to the infamous 3-bolt neck with the micro tilt feature. It's not a bad design, but it got a bad reputation due to sloppy neck pockets. The top 2 screws go into the timber, and the bottom is more of a threaded bolt, I guess, that goes into a metal plate at the bottom of the neck. To adjust the neck angle, you just loosen it off, adjust the little grub screw in here with an Allen key, and tighten it back up. You can also see a hint of the original white under here as well. Neck and body stamps. There's a bit going on under here, but have a look for this date. For some American reason, it's week, year, day. So 48th week of 1977 and the second day of the work week. So this particular neck was made, or at least stamped, on Tuesday the 22nd of November 1977. This is also what's called a laminate board. The rosewood is laminated over the radius maple neck, as opposed to earlier models where a slab of rosewood was glued on and then radiused. Bit of a cost saver at the time. Black plastics. Fender started switching to black plastics from white in around 1975, and by the end of 1977, everything was black. We're talking pickguards, pickup covers, knobs, switch tips, all your plastics. 77 was also the first year of the factory 5-way switch. Under the hood here, we can see a very factory wiring job, except for an additional ground or two here. Pots. We've been through this before, but 137 for the manufacturer's code. The next 2 digits are the year, so these are 1976 pots, and the week, 52, very late in the year. Pickups look good. Pickup bobbins on 70s Fenders are made of a grey fibre material, nicknamed grey bottoms. These were used until sometime in 1980 when they switched over to a black plastic. Pickup codes. Pickup codes are usually operator, operator, week, week, year, year. Later 70s also seem to have year, year, operator, operator, week, week, which this guitar has both of them. You can see here 77 for the years on these. We've got two here from early 1977, and the bridge looks to be from a bit later in the year. You'll notice that the pole pieces are flush to the covers on pickups on these guitars, and they have little metal springs instead of rubber thingies for the height screws. Inside the output jack here, you can see a hint of the original colour. Someone's definitely been in here, they've replaced the output jack at some point and added some extra grounding. That's a brief rundown of your typical 1970s Strat, so let's get to getting a new nut on this thing. There's probably ways to do this, but pliers. Shouldn't be in there too bad. Just got to try not to chip the fretboard. It already chipped when it broke. Oh, this is going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah, still going exactly as planned. New nutty's on. Let's get a fresh set of strings on this and play a few tunes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for plenty more.